Hey, how's it going, fight fans? Welcome to mindforcombat. If you're new to the channel, my name's Rohan, and this is my platform where I do fight sports related content. If you're new here, why don't you help me grow my platform? All you have to do is subscribe to the channel, like the video if you like it, and maybe hit that bell icon so you get notified every time I upload a video. With that said, in this video, I'm back with another fight breakdown, and it's a fight breakdown that, outside of the absolute hardcore of the hardcores, I don't think anyone's going to give a shit about. I'm not expecting big numbers on this one, but it's a fight that I'm very much looking forward to, and all of you guys are hardcores. If you're watching my content, you're definitely a hardcore mixed martial arts fan, and I look forward to giving you guys my thoughts on this. So, you know, it's the upcoming light heavyweight title fight between Bellator's Ryan Bader as he takes on undefeated in Bellator top prospect Vadim Nemkov. Now, Vadim Nemkov has really made a name for himself. In my opinion, he's the clear-cut #1 contender in Bellator's 205-pound division, and he's beaten multiple former Bellator world champions to earn his title fight. He's a young man fighting the older Ryan Bader, who at this point is a grizzled veteran, which is crazy to me because I still remember him fighting on the Ultimate Fighter and being a young man on the come up. And to me, he really has had an incredible career, and his career is continuing, and I think he doesn't really get the respect that he deserves. But that's always going to be the case with Ryan Bader. I think probably the loss to Tito Ortiz didn't really help that, but Ryan Bader is no doubt one of the best light heavyweights in the world today, and I think he should be respected easily in the top 10 top light heavyweights of all time. He's a great light heavyweight, and this is a fight that I'm really looking forward to. So without further ado, let's break this one down. As mentioned, Vadim Nemkov is a young man. He's still only 28 years old. He's a very, very young man with, you know, in his physical prime with tons and tons of years ahead of him. And that's where the biggest difference in this fight lies, in my opinion. Because Ryan Bader, for all his incredible accolades, is now 37 years old. So he's not a young man no more. And at some point, he will start to slow down. Now, bear in mind that 205 and above, fighters tend to have a bit longer of a shelf life, so by no means is he old and washed up. I don't think that all his game has shown that he's not. But at 37 years old, you've got to start wondering, is now the time? The next biggest difference is going to be in the experience, and that's what you see in the records. Ryan Bader has a professional mixed martial arts record of 27 wins, 5 losses, and 1 no contest. And let's be honest, Czech Congo didn't need to have that fight stopped. He could have fought on, so he could be 28-5. And he fights Vadim Nemkov, who is very respectable in his career, but you know, he's hardly had any fights. He's only got 11 wins and 2 losses. And yes, he's got tons of combat sambo experience, which is legit, but it's not the same as having fought professionally in mixed martial arts. So that's another big thing that we got to watch, and that's the fight where it's on. How will Ryan Bader be able to utilize his experience in his favor to be able to try and eke out the win here? Ryan Bader stands at 6'2", which makes him 2 inches taller than Vadim Nemkov, and he also has a 74-inch reach, which gives him roughly a 3-inch reach advantage over Vadim Nemkov's. Now, Vadim Nemkov's reach is not verified, but having been around the fight game for as long as I have, I'm confident to say, having looked at his body and the way his fights have gone, he's got roughly a 71-inch reach. So Ryan Bader's going to enjoy some size there. Of course, Ryan Bader fights at heavyweight as well, so he's used to fighting the bigger, stronger man. This is going to be very interesting to see how this plays out. Ryan Bader's style is, I would describe him as what I call a Russell boxer. He's got great wrestling, he's got great boxing. You know, he's not a Muay Thai savage. He's not going to fly and knee KO you. He's not going to KO you with a head kick. He carries big power in his hands. He may throw some leg kicks out there, and he's got great wrestling, and he's got great Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. He fights Vadim Nemkov, who's got a very incredible kickboxing game. I think that's where he really shines. We haven't seen too much, by the way, of, you know, wrestling offensively from Vadim Nemkov, but I think where he shines is with his leg kicks, and that's going to be interesting in this fight because I don't know how Ryan Bader will deal with the leg kicks, and I don't know if that sets up Vadim Nemkov for the takedown. Of course, in my opinion, it does. Haven't seen enough fights to be able to say that Ryan Bader is probably going to look to take him down off his leg kicks, but we don't know that for a fact, and that's going to be very interesting. Let's look at some of their key wins. We can start with Vadim Nemkov because Vadim Nemkov is the guy, you know, with the smaller resume, so it's easier to get this one done. He's beaten former Bellator world champion, former top contender in the UFC as well, in Phil Davis, former Bellator champ. He's beaten Liam McGarry, former Bellator champ, and he's beaten Rafael Carvalho, who's a former Bellator champ. Those are 3 incredible wins that put him, you know, clearly in line for a title shot. And he fights Ryan Bader, who's got one of the most lengthy resumes in the game. He's beaten Rogerio Nogueira not once but twice, and one of those times was when Rogerio was kind of at the peak of his game. He's of course beaten Rampage Jackson, he's beaten Rashad Evans, he's beaten OSP and Ilir Latifi, 2 guys that are still ranked contenders in the UFC today. He's of course taken out Phil Davis not once but twice, great wins there. And then he's beaten the likes of Fedor Emelianenko, and he's beaten King Mo in Bellator as well. So he's done some great stuff in his career as Ryan Bader. The issues for Ryan Bader is going to be his age. As I mentioned, he's 37 years old. And how is he going to deal with those leg kicks? Obviously, fluidity on his feet will definitely favour Vadim Nemkov. And Vadim's no doubt going to be looking to kick his feet and mix it up and make it a kickboxing match. How does Ryan Bader deal with that? I'm very, very interested to see. The biggest issues for Vadim Nemkov is going to be the experience deficit that he's facing when he fights Ryan Bader, and how he deals with the wrestling and size and strength of Ryan Bader. The X factor for Ryan Bader is going to be his wrestling and experience, and of course his power in his hands. He carries big power, Ryan Bader, particularly in his left hand. And for Vadim Nemkov, the X factor is going to be the fluidity in his stand-up. So smooth and beautiful his stand-up is. I wonder if Ryan Bader is going to struggle to deal with that, and how that's going to impact his game. With that said, let's get into the prediction. This is going to be a very interesting fight, and whilst I think Ryan Bader is a very smart fighter, he can be foolish at times and he can get reckless at times, which leads him to get caught in fights that he can win, i.e. Glover Teixeira, a fight that I thought he was not far away from getting the W in. He gets caught by a 1-2 and gets KO'd. Over the years, he's kind of rectified that, particularly since his Anthony Rumble Johnson loss, where he made a reckless takedown attempt and just got KO'd on the back of it. I think this is a guy who can really mix it up with the best of them, and when he's on and he's switched on and he's mentally posed and he's not rushing to make stuff happen, he's really a special fighter. Maybe not the most exciting fighter, but special nonetheless. Vadim Nemkov is an unproven commodity. What I know is that he's got excellent stand-up. He's fought some of the really best fighters in the world. He has. It's not enough though when you're fighting a guy who's got 33 professional fights and a guy who's vastly going to be better than you at wrestling. I think Ryan Bader is going to be able to utilize his wrestling in this. I think Vadim Nemkov is going to enjoy a stand-up advantage, and whilst Ryan Bader is at a disadvantage on the feet, I don't think he's at the kind of disadvantage where he gets KO'd in 20 seconds of standing up. Ryan Bader himself is a very proficient striker, has got good boxing, and I think on the feet he's going to make it last long enough to set up his takedowns, and in his takedowns, top controls and just holding positions on the ground, it might not be exciting, is where he's going to do damage. As the fight goes on and Vadim starts to get overworn by the wrestling that he's having to deal with, the experience is going to start to kick in, and that's where Ryan Bader is going to start to chip away and do damage towards the end of it. In my opinion, Ryan Bader is going to use his stand-up to set up his takedowns, and Vadim's going to struggle to stop him. He may defend 1 or 2, but I don't think he'll defend 5. And when he does get him down, which in my opinion he inevitably will get him down, we're going to see real problems for Vadim Nemkov as the fight goes on. So fight fans, for my official prediction, I'm predicting that Ryan Bader comes in with a wrestling heavy game plan and he finishes fight either in the 4th or 5th round, or wins a clear decision where maybe he loses the 1st round. But anyways, for my official prediction, guys, I'm going with Ryan Bader. Why don't you guys comment below? Let me know how you see this fight going, and let me know if you're looking forward to this fight as much as I am. As always, I'm Rohan, and if you're new here, like, subscribe, share, all that jazz. Thank you for watching, guys, and this is Mindful Combat.